to their homes safely. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Well, let's speak now live to the President of the Middle East Policy Council and former US Ambassador Gina Abercrombie-Winstanley. And thank you for joining us here on the programme. You were listening to the entirety of that speech. What was your assessment?
Well, thank you. My assessment, of course, is that there were no surprises. The Prime Minister has a very bellicose way of addressing the United Nations. He criticizes it regularly, and there is no change this year from prior years. We do understand, of course, that every government has responsibility to defend its people, but we have also seen over the last 11 months the lack of efficacy, the failure of the policy to bring home the hostages, to bring about a more safe and secure Israel. So no surprises, unfortunately.
In terms of the way he has conducted policy, even in the last 2 or 3 days with the US, around all of that talk of a ceasefire, there are reports that the US had got verbal assurances around the deal, and then he seemed to blindside this administration. You had John Kirby actually saying, I don't know why Benjamin Netanyahu has said what he said. I mean, what do you make of a snub like that?
I will stick with my phrase of no surprise. The Prime Minister has had this sort of relationship with U.S. presidents since President Clinton, including President Obama, and frequently with President Biden. It is a relationship that is extremely close, extremely supportive, to the point where the Prime Minister does feel that he has maximum flexibility.
To the point also of being able to simply ignore what the President, what the White House wants?
At this point, so we see.
With impunity?
So far. That is the reality so far. And I will say that there is a division among Americans about what Israel is doing. So it is not that everyone disagrees with it. There is sympathy for the position that Israel finds itself in, but it is extraordinary that he has been able to repeatedly gainsay the President of the United States without apparent cost.
Do you think that needs to change if we're to see a change of course in the Middle East? There is so much alarm now of an all-out war. Does there need to be a change in that fundamental strategy coming from the White House if we're to avert perhaps where we're going?
Well, I believe there are some who believe Israel's tact at this point may be successful. They have had extraordinary success with taking out Hezbollah leaders, with shaking up and sowing doubt and dissent and mistrust among the rank and file of Hezbollah. I believe that it would be devastating for both nations if there is a ground invasion. It will cost Israel as well as costing Lebanon, but they have done it before. And there may be diplomatic efforts that will bring about a change that will allow Israelis to return to the north.
A final go on.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
A final thought then, if there is a next step in this, and perhaps there is some sort of ground incursion, what are the wider risks for the region, do you think? Your assessment of that?
Certainly, it will be devastating for the two parties. 2006 showed us exactly what to expect. Regardless of Israel's strength, Hezbollah is strong as well. They have thousands of fighters, and certainly the anger and resentment that a ground invasion, let alone what's going on right now, will incur means that this conflict will continue. Nothing that the Prime Minister said should give anyone hope or expectation that there is going to be a peaceful resolution to this, or that a way, an off-ramp to a safe, secure Middle East for Israelis and Palestinians and the wider region can be reached. Nothing, he said, would lead to that.
That's pretty disturbing, isn't it?
It is what it is. Yeah.
Ambassador, we have to leave it there, but thank you for joining us live on the programme.
Yeah. Thank you.